Thank you for joining us today. And if you're new to the channel, then welcome to the family. Can you believe we're only a few days out from Decision Day? Please subscribe so that you can be part of the congregation. And if you want to be part of the conversation, then comment in the comment section below. We will be reviewing Lindsey and Mark, season 14, episode 16. So let's jump right into it.
Welcome to Fueled by Intentions, where we talk about faith, family, finances, fitness, and fun. Sponsored by BYNUM'S Business Solutions, where the right fit is made simple. We specialize in tips, tools, and strategies designed to help you achieve your financial health so that you can take control of how you spend your money so that you can spend more time with your family, friends, and doing the things you love. So let's jump right into the video.
Hello, John. So today we are back to review another couple.
Well, who do we have?
Today we have Lindsey and Mark. We first see them where they are doing a fertility test to see how fertile they will be within their relationship. Personally, I thought this was great. Mark is 37 and Lindsey is 34. So I feel like these are questions that they are going to want to answer within the beginning of their relationship so that they can determine how their family will grow. I really like that Mark talked about how he had done some things in his younger days to build muscle that would affect his fertility, because I think that we do have to be careful of our actions because it may come back to bite us later on in life.
Yes, being an athlete, I understand that, guys can go on steroids to build muscle, and steroids can affect their fertility. So I know that Mark may have been nervous about that, and I can see why Lindsey would have said, okay, let's make sure that, all those sperms are that sperm count is high. I want to make sure that all those guys are alive. So let's take this test.
Yes, Mark is 37 and Lindsey is 34. And we know for females, they say that if you're pregnant at 35, that you have a geriatric pregnancy. So checking early is a good thing for them, even given their age, even though it's new in their process. I think that they're making a good decision to look at that as they plan how they will build their family.
Yes, and we see that Mark goes with his friend to his mother's house, and his friend sees that the house is clean. The apartment is clean, and his friend comments on he's never seen the house so clean. And then he sees that, or basically says that he can see that Lindsey has had a good impact, a positive impact on Mark. And he says, Mark tells his friend that some of the pros and the cons that he has with Lindsey, but his friend says in the end, it looks like it was more positive than negative, and that Mark, you should really focus on the positive. So I thought that was some good advice from Mark's friend to him.
Absolutely. And he said that he should forget about the other weeks and look at the present, what is happening in the present. And we find out that Mark's mom needs full-time care. She had went to the hospital on that Monday. On that Thursday, he had lost his cat. And he really made a profound statement. He says when Lindsey is there for him, he is really glad that Lindsey is there for him, not another person, that her specifically. But when they have their disagreements, then he doesn't know if he wants her around. And I like what the friend said, you judge from what is going on now, don't look at the past. And I understand Mark's concern, because in a new relationship, you want to have more positives than negatives. And I love how Mark describes it, because I think that if we would describe it, we would say that they've had more negative than positive. But yes, Mark says that it's been 50-50. They've had, the same amount of positives as they have negatives. And I think that just is another sign of Mark's personality as to how he always looks at the glass half full rather than looking at the glass as half empty. We then see Lindsey talk to her friend Carol, who she describes as her work wife. And believe me, I can so relate. We spend so much time on our jobs if you're not an entrepreneur like Steve and you work at 8 to 5, that we do develop close relationships with those that we work for. And I was really glad that Lindsey has a friend who accepts her and all of her for who she is in terms of Lindsey, because she said that they're alike and she really trusts her, she values her opinion. And it sounds like it's just a beautiful relationship. And I feel like for myself personally, I've wondered like who will deal with Lindsey or who will put up with Lindsey. But I think that there is some aspects of Lindsey that we haven't fully seen. And I really felt like we've got a glimpse of that on this particular episode, because I really did enjoy Lindsey. I felt like she had toned it down for this episode and she was enjoyable. And I think that some of the concerns that she has is just valid. I mean, one of her concerns is that Mark is not always fully present in their relationship. And I think that for most women, that is a valid concern. But I like that she shared the things that they have in common, that they laugh, that they agree on their spiritual values, and that there's a lot of good points. And then also highlighting their differences of how she, and it's her words, not me, thrives in chaos, and that he does not like chaos. But I love what she said, because she said she doesn't know if this is because he's in a crisis that he's reacting this way, or if it's his personality where he doesn't like, I think it more like a challenges or changes, or if she doesn't know that this is just him because he's in crisis right now. So I love that she made that distinction.
Well, you know, one thing we noticed that Mark is an only child, and being an only child in situations of crisis, he figures that his only way out, or if there is a solution, he's going to have to find it because there's no one else that's going to be there to help him. So I find that the situation with Mark is that he's not used to having support. And so now the trust has come where he has to trust Lindsey enough to share, okay, in these trials that he's been going through, especially as of late. To share it with someone where Mark has always been, hey, let me just, give me my space. Let me think about this because I need to come up with a solution. And he does it without asking someone else. But Lindsey, she volunteers. She jumps in to the frenzy and say, let me help. And he's not accustomed to that. But now he's finding the benefit and the fruit of sharing. And it's really starting to work out for Mark, as it had done with Michael. Trust went to sharing. Now I can open myself up, and I find I'm feeling pretty good. So I see that Mark is starting to be more trustworthy and see Lindsey more as a partner, and noticing that now he can share things with her, and she makes him feel good. She makes him feel, special, positive, appreciated. So I think he's starting to appreciate Lindsey on that side. But on the other side, it's this respect thing that I still think that there's an issue, because sometimes Mark sees Lindsey as treating him like a kid, and that he does not like. Okay, men like to be respected, and a lot of times Lindsey belittles Mark in terms of his job, belittles Mark in terms of the way that he handles things. Even I remember passing in a bowling alley when he got upset at Lindsey. She says, "Oh, so now you're going to run to your mommy." So men, I think that's one of the biggest issues, that as Mark is weighing the costs and the benefits of their relationship, is can I deal with this, or can I get Lindsey to recognize that you need to treat me with more respect, because I am your husband, I'm a man and I am your husband. And regardless of what you may think, I'm going to be the boss. Lindsey doesn't want to release those reins. So that's why I think that they're going to have problems.
Yes, we next find them at the bowling alley, and Mark gets to be a captain, and he picks Lindsey first because he values his relationship with his wife, and he knows he will not hear the end of it. And I think that that is really good for Mark, because one of the things that Lindsey has been complaining about is that she is not been first for him, and that she wants that. So I am glad that he made that decision to pick her first.
Yeah, and a wise decision, as you stated, a wise decision. Things have been going pretty well with Mark and Lindsey. And Mark says, you know, they have their good days and they have their bad days. And now, you know, they're there with the other couples. And, you know, usually when they're in a public setting, Mark's mind is, oh my God, what's going to happen? You know, how is this going to end? So he says, you know what? If I don't pick Lindsey first, I think I would have set the fuse again on this firecracker. I do not want to light that fuse. I'm picking my wife first.
One thing I really noticed in this episode about Lindsey with the group is that she did not say very much of anything. She didn't even join in at the end. She allowed Mark to talk, unless they just didn't show it. But I really liked that about her. I felt like she wasn't doing it out of bitterness from the last group activity that they had. Because I feel like if you're bitter, then you don't engage, you don't fully participate. And I felt like she fully participated in the game. She didn't seem like she had a bad attitude or anything. But I feel like this was a good move for Lindsey, because this gives Mark a piece of intel to see how she can be in a group, and how he didn't have to be on alarm, and how she can control what she says. And I think that that is going to be a good feeling as he goes to make this final decision. We see Mark get hurt, and Lindsey lets us know it's because he's totally dehydrated. And she said that it's like a big tree, a big heavy tree falling in the wilderness. And I just like, Lindsey, that is another dig for you to say. I felt like that's the same thing as calling him fat, but I don't know, maybe it's me being sensitive.
I think Mark would take that above all of the other outbursts, public outbursts that Lindsey has caused in past activities. But one thing about it, because Lindsey was not as provocative as she had been in the past, she allowed Mark to really be the man, because at the end of the flag football game, Mark asked everybody what was their predictions about decision day. And he said that he was leaning toward yes for Lindsey, and Lindsey just snuggled up to him when he said that. And Mark reminded everyone told everyone that they should really think about why they even entered into the venture of going through the process of being on Married at First Sight. That it's something that you should really think about before decision day as you prepare to make your decision. And I thought that was really good, because I think that resonated with all the couples, that, yeah, we really need to think about this.
What did you think about the conversation that Olajuwon and Lindsey had about her relationship with Mark, and how Mark goes to other people first before they come to her? And Olajuwon admitted that he does that too, and that the reason that Mark may be doing that is that he didn't want to be cut down by Lindsey. And then Lindsey actually interjected and gave him an example as to when that had happened, that she went back in her mind. I really like that they value each other's friendship, which seems like an unlikely friendship since they are the ones who were arguing in the beginning, but that they have just moved away from that. and forged ahead and been a great support for one another.
I mean, they can handle contention because, you know, Lindsey, she in chaos, she said she can thrive in chaos. And of course, we know Olajuwon causes chaos a lot as well. So it seems like they both thrive in chaos. So like Lindsey, she can take a chaotic situation and she can put it behind her very, very quickly. Yeah, I mean, and it seems as though Olajuwon was able to do that as well. So I guess that's why. But one thing that Olajuwon told her that was really good is he says that he does the same thing in relationship. He likes to bounce something off of, you know, the guys or someone before he speaks to his spouse about it, because he wants to make sure he doesn't say it in a way that she might be offended or hurt, which I thought was ironic, because I look at the way Olajuwon has always talked to Katina. To me, it's always been offensive and hurt. So I was so surprised that he said that. It seems like it was a big flip. And the same thing with Lindsey, when she told Olajuwon that Katina was a great catch and that he's going to regret her if he lets her go, if he doesn't say yes on decision day, that he would really regret it. And I thought that was another flip, because I know that there was always contention between Lindsey and Katina. So wow, I see these people giving good advice, but the advice that they gave to me was completely saying, oh my God, I see the advice that you're giving, but are you taking any of it yourself?
Absolutely. We then see how Mark is trapped in the past, because he takes Lindsey to another romantic dinner, which could be a replay of the romantic dinner that he ruined at the beginning of the season. So he took her to a romantic dinner at the home of his parents and his mom and his grandmother. And it's all cleaned up. It looks like it's even more clean than Lindsey, the last time Lindsey was there, because I think he was showing her his progress. And he had sushi. So I love that he is still trying to make sure the dinner is really nice and something that she would enjoy, although we know that's not his food of choice. And it shows how far he's come, because he reflects upon last time they had this dish and how his response is. And it looks like they're both enjoying a meal. This is where Mark wants to land after decision day, is their marital home. I thought Lindsey was so reasonable. $500 to do all of the repairs or revisions, I should say, that Lindsey would like to do to make it more of a place environment that she can enjoy. I didn't think any of them were out of the ordinary. I think that they were very reasonable into what a woman would want. And this is the first time that I've really saw the stubborn Mark, and who shall not be moved because he wants to reminisce his childhood. And believe me, I've had a wonderful childhood. So I understand the great memories that we have when we reflect upon it. But I did think that he was being extra stubborn on this subject.
I didn't think the changes that Lindsey wanted to make were minor changes. I think that they were major changes. From what I recall, I mean, she was saying that she wanted to do this, she wanted to do that, and Mark became alarmed at what she said, because he was saying, well, no, he was looking at, okay, minor, hey, paint, that's minor, but you're saying you would, if I was to live here, I would want this, I would want this, I would want that, I would want this. So I thought that the changes that she wanted were some major changes. She didn't honestly want that house to look like the same house that they had entered, or the house that Mark would remember. She said, okay, if we're going to live here, if we're going to live here as a couple, I'm going to make it to my liking. I'm going to make it our house, not your house or not your former house. I'm going to make it our house. And if it's our house, I'm going to make it new.
Do you think you think that's unreasonable?
Well, Mark, I believe that Mark did want to keep, I think he wanted to keep that nostalgia, the things of the past. He grew up in a home and stuff like that. then I can understand Lindsey as saying, no, I do not want to be stuck in your past. Okay.
I think where I saw the stubbornness the most is when she was talking about getting rid of the dresser. And he said, oh no, I don't, we need to keep that dresser. That's that. He was like, okay, well, you need to keep it somewhere else because that's not my style.
No, it's the nostalgia, it's the memories. Mark is trying to hold on to those memories. Lindsey wants a fresh, a clean slate. And I want us to start our life anew. I don't want us to be stuck in the past. I don't want you to be stuck in my past. I don't want to be stuck in your past. I want us to work our future.
I don't know. I thought in this case, I'm usually not for Lindsey, but I think that she was very reasonable. There's not many women who would want to move into your mother and grandmother's home. So the fact that I want to update it and make it a little more modern and a little more me, I think that was perfectly reasonable. I don't think $500 is a lot of money. And if you can make those changes with $500, then go for it. One thing I think that Lindsey is going to have to do is she's going to have to help Mark preserve the memories. So whether that's taking pictures and making a collage or making a book, like I think that it's fine that he wants to hold on to the great memories that he has. I think that she's going to have to help him to direct that in another way so that he can have those memories. I don't want to take them from you. I just don't want to live in them. So I think that they're going to really have to dig deep to find the compromise to both of them. And I don't think that Lindsey should get rid of everything, which I don't think that she was. The linoleum, the light fixtures, the she said like some planks on the wall or some other kind of textured on the wall, and the cabinets. So to me, that is you're trying to update a home to where you are comfortable. But one thing I did love most about this scene is I love that once they had a disagreement, Mark said, we're going to have to agree to disagree. And then they moved on with the night and was able to enjoy it and to dance on the roof together. And I love that when you're not just stuck in this rigmarole of this disagreement. It's okay to disagree. We can actually revisit it again. We don't have to resolve it tonight, but let's capture the moment. Let's seize the moment that we're in and enjoy this beautiful night that I am trying to create for you. And I love that both of them kind of put it behind them, regrouped themselves, and was able to enjoy the rest of the night.
And you know what? I have to agree with you wholeheartedly on that, because the person that was hurt the most about the comment that Lindsey made was Mark, because you're messing with my memories. You're messing with my past. But Mark was the one that initiated that, okay, we agree to disagree. And he's the one that took her out to the balcony, and they went and they started to dancing. So I have to applaud Mark, because he's showing his manhood now. He's showing that he is the man. And I could see that in prior engagement or conflicts, I can see where he and Lindsey would have just went off on this disagreement. But Mark, he pulled it together. He changed the channel. Okay. He said, okay, we can agree to disagree. Very, very mature, very, very strong. I think that was great.
And then we see Mark and Lindsey on their last night together before they have to make the big decision. And Lindsey says that she is going to miss them cats, and that those cats give her more affection than Mark does. And I kind of understand what she was saying. I am not an animal lover, so I do not have any of my own. But the analogy that she gave is when I call them, they come. When I want to cuddle, they want to cuddle. Kind of like you don't get, the cats don't give me any resistance about how I want to interact with them, where you have a choice and may give some of those resistance. And I think, I don't know if they did or not, you can correct me if you notice, but they are going to have to take their cats. Whichever cats belong to you, you need to take them. Because see, I watch a lot of Judge Judy, and on that show, people will really battle over the custody of an animal that was left in a shared space. So since we don't know what we're going to do on decision day, I think everybody should take their pets so that we do not have to see them on Judge Judy fighting for the custody of this animal. I think that the fuel that we can use for this couple is one that we see in Paul, how he gave up his former life and he said, I am going to forget those things that are in my past and I am going to press forward to a higher calling in Christ. And Paul, his intention with that was saying, hey, you know, I've done some things that weren't so great in my past, but I'm going to press forward in Christ to my future for a higher calling. And sometimes we may have regrets about our past or things that we've done, and we need to just wipe the slate clean, ask for forgiveness, and move forward in Christ with our life, pressing towards a higher calling. So I think that Mark, although I don't think he should forget the things of his past, but he should find a way to capture those moments and then press forward. So what is your yes on decision day prediction for this couple?
I'm going to go yes for Lindsey, and I'm going to go yes for Mark.
I think that this is your first yes and yes on decision day prediction for the night.
Yeah, you may be right on that.
I am going to say yes for Lindsey, and I'm going to say yes for Mark. I think that they are going to stay together. Now, I don't know if that will be what I will think about Noah and Steve. Well, we'll get to that in the next video. So stay tuned and watch Noah and Steve up next. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And remember, live with intention. Be intentional.